We're so disorganized. And we love starting things and then forgetting about them. No, we did a Sassadate, and we had a lot of fun doing that. I think it's hard with our schedules because he works a lot and I work a lot, and we have very different schedules, but we keep talking. We wrote another one. I wrote another one. We just never shot it. And we pitched it to a few networks as an actual TV series as well, because you could make it so cheaply and it would work. But yeah, we may come back to it. It's been a while now, though. Has anyone seen that? Assassinate? Yeah, it's cute. It's cute. It's basically the same characters as A Dog's Breakfast in a way. It's basically me making fun of him, which is nothing like real life, obviously. Let's see if he answered his email. I'm in big trouble. Not that we need him, right, guys? We don't need that guy. Oh, my mother emailed. Anyone want to? Keys. Hi, Kate. Cannot remember if you gave the keys back. My brother took my mom's phone without her knowing it and changed it so that every time I phone, it says my least favorite. She doesn't know how to change it back. And she lives here and I'm in Canada. And it's like, every time, my least favorite. Oh, hello, Kate. Okay, question.
This is actually regarding Eric. What did he say when you told him you were coming to a Stargate convention?
Did he leave?
No, he's there.
You moved? Okay. I thought you abandoned me and you were being called out. What is the question for Eric?
What did he say when you told him about Stargate convention? Did he have any idea what it was?
I was warned extensively to prepare for any eventuality, and it's been a wonderful adventure. It's met all of my expectations and more, and one of the best crowds I've ever played to. You guys are great.
A lot of the time when you play for an audience as a musician, people don't listen, and they talk amongst themselves, and you're kind of background noise, or so I've heard. And this was so nice to have people listening and watching and paying attention. It just felt like we couldn't do anything wrong, even though we may have. Any other questions? No. Yes. Do you want me to bring you?
Sorry, I can yell really loud. Yeah, come to me again. So you and Jeannie are very, I don't know if you're very different people. I think you are, because I've met you, and you're really lovely in a different way. With you. Testimony for life. And so I was just wondering, what do you think are the biggest differences, and how did you play those differences? Because some people just work off their own thing, and some people just learn and figure out their other character, their own way. So how did you figure out Jeannie separately from you?
I think the way into Jeannie was through the relationship with her brother. I think that was the easiest connection, and the way that we talk to each other, the banter, those moments with the banter between the two of us, that's the most familiar. And so I think that was the way in, and I felt like I knew who she was. But in a way, she's a version of me that went, I'm almost the version of her that McKay wanted her to be, where she followed her dream, didn't have the family, didn't have the husband, focused on career, that sort of thing. Like, it's interesting, she's sort of maybe the version of me that would exist right now if I had taken a different path. And she's smarter. But I can write a better essay, I bet. So I think, yeah, there are similarities in the way that we speak, which makes it easy, and the writing was good and written for us, and so that helps. I think that she's more serious than I am, I think. Although when I'm in a writer's room, I'm pretty serious, except for all my filthy jokes. Yeah, and I think also in my family, we express all things through humor. Whether we tease each other a lot. Obviously, we all get along very well. We love teasing each other. But there's not a lot of sort of conflict that's like, this is how I feel, and this is how I feel about you, and that's sort of, we don't talk to each other like that. We just disappear on each other for a while. And so I think that was a more challenging side of the character. But it's also really juicy and enjoyable as an actor to get to play those scenes and have the more emotional stuff. Because you don't, when I don't go there in real life, it's kind of fun to go there on TV.
Did it affect your relationship going forward with David?
I think Stargate made us even closer because I understood what he was doing more, and he was so supportive through the whole thing. And yeah, I think it actually did bring us closer. Yeah, definitely.
It's beautiful.
I wish I had something funny to say. And he's a jerk. Yeah, it was. It's a bonding experience, you know. We're the, and there are four siblings, and this is something that he and I share. So the other ones can just suck it. No, it's been really nice, and we want to work together again. So, although he's really going very sciencey these days, he's obsessed with science. He's obsessed with teaching science probably because he loved science in school. He loved science, but didn't love it in school because it's taught so badly. Who here is a scientist or is in science, is in the sciences? Okay. Was it taught well in high school? No. It's a problem. It should be exciting because it is exciting. I dropped it as soon as I could because I hated my teachers. We need good science teachers. They're all dead, it's fine, they'll never hear this. They were angry ones. Uh-oh, it got dark. Yes, hello?
Hello. Is there anything from your childhood that you've never forgiven David or that he never forgave you? Something very stupid even, like he stole your favorite doll or something, but it's like that little thing that you keep reminding him of, or vice versa.
Yes. Every time I try to think of embarrassing stories where David is implicated, it's always me. It's like he was always embarrassing me, but I think one of the first things I can remember is that he had this plastic fried egg, which seemed funny in the 80s, and he would always he would switch people in the family. We had a large family, and he would switch out the person he gave it to, and it was for some reason hilarious to him that you'd get your plate and it'd be like, this isn't a real egg. Well, I was the youngest, and I was very fond of my food, and so I went for it. I was like, my egg looks like hell, but I'm gonna eat it. And I actually cut his plastic fried egg. So he was very angry with me about that. And then he made fun of me for eating everything, like that I would eat anything, including plastic. And the other thing that he brings up an awful lot, which is a story I've told before, I used to love dancing. And I learned the moonwalk when that was popular. And David's friends were...
Demonstrate.
Pardon me?
Demonstrate.
Oh, in heels? Thank God I wore heels. I couldn't possibly. And they're attached to my feet, so they're not going in. So he had all these cool friends who were 9 years older than me, who were in the film and TV world, and he was 19 and I was 8. Yes, that's our age difference. And he was having a party in the basement, because that's where cool kids have parties. And I decided that I was going to come downstairs and show off that I knew how to do the moonwalk. So I got everyone's attention. They thought it was, they thought it was cute, whatever. So I'm in my nightie, and I moonwalked, and I kept going, and I'm like, this is killing, I'm killing it. And then I went, and I stepped into their chip dip. I moonwalked into the chip dip, and then instead of playing it cool, I burst into tears and ran upstairs and left one chip dipping footprint all the way up the carpet stuff. And so he brings that up still, all the time. And if anything's going badly for me, or if he's losing the battle, he'll go, why don't you just step in the chip dip? Why don't you just moonwalk into the chip dip? So it comes up a lot. And the worst part of it is that those friends were Vincenzo Natali, who's a huge director now, and all these people who have gone into film and TV and who are highly successful and talented. And I'm the chip dip girl.